Okay, we're getting started a little bit late. Man, I got a lot of sun here and visiting the beach community here in Vung Tau, Vietnam. This is for the great Eric Kong. It's 4 o'clock in China Standard Time. Here he is, so we do it for his benefit if he'd like to rewatch our videos here, our sessions, our lesson sessions. Hello.
Hello, nice to see you.
Yeah, good to see you. How are you? How are you?
So today it was really fine.
Yeah.
I have just finished the monthly exam, so I get to have a break.
Yeah, congratulations. Yeah, excellent. Very good. I'm thinking
Thanks.
about you. I'm on the coast here in Vietnam. So it's very sunny. I think I got burned, but there's many Australians here, and I keep forgetting that you guys spent that year, right? In Adelaide? Was that the town, Adelaide?
Yes.
Yeah. So there's many Western Australians where I'm staying. They seem to love to retire here or they want to spend some time here. So I'm in the city
Yeah.
called Vung Tau on the coast, on the bottom coast of Vietnam. So it's very lovely. A lot
Yeah.
slower than Ho Chi Minh, right? Saigon. Ho Chi Minh is very
Yes.
too crazy for me. But all right. So yeah, congratulations. How did you do on the oral exam that you had 2 weeks ago? How did you do on that, Eric?
So it's probably so that in that exam, I think I did well. So it's only lasted for 1.5 hours, and after maybe for 1 to 2 months we'll get the result because
Ah,
it is the first round, and when we're off to the second round, it's the finals.
wow, fabulous. So that's good news. Is it a provincial, a province test or a competition or what who were involved with the competition?
Yeah, it's just a competition mainly held in our province, and
Okay.
each city held a game that lasts maybe for about 3 to 4 months. It's a long time, and there are 2 rounds in it.
Wow, fabulous, man. That's cool. That sounds fun. All right, let's just jump right to it. Let's do your essays. I always think everyone can get better in essay writing. And again, my friend, like especially if you want to study um, in a native English university, the writing is especially the first year. Let me just see. I just emailed. Sorry, I got caught up with that. Yes, replace it, I think. Yeah. Okay, update. Yep. All right, great. It's because it's the attrition level. I think I've explained that to you, right? Especially, well, many universities. I think it's similar
Yeah.
in China, where everyone is so excited about their first year, and then some things happen. Maybe your parents are ill, or you have to take over a family business, or whatever reason. So you drop out. So the attrition level, or you just don't like university, or right. There's many reasons. So the attrition it becomes
Yes.
smaller and smaller, right, as you progress in your academics. But a major reason is not being prepared for writing, all the other academics involved. So if you don't, especially write, because you're not talking as much in those bigger classes. So if you're not a good writer, it can be really challenging your first year of at university. But I barely remember. If you can do me a favor, Eric, for next time, can you? Well, I think we have it on Ding Talk. But if you could always
Yes.
maybe put the question right on your paper, so it'll save us some time. But let me just go to Ding.
Okay, I'll do it next time.
Yeah, no, no, yeah, not a problem. So let me just scroll. Da, 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 da. Good afternoon. Was that? No, we missed that. Wait, hold on a second, bro. Uh, sent you those. Sent you all that. Glasgow. Yes. Okay. So scientists predict that all people, let me just pull that. I'm going to just pull that out. Right. Okay. Yeah, we got it. All right. And then let me, because I always like to read it, every sentence to compare to see if you're answering, to see if we're answering it correctly, right? Yeah, so if you can just do that next time, that's right. All right, so yes, a grade, of course, it's always going to change. We know that the topic or how you structure it, right? Okay, identical language around the globe. I like, so right off the bat, I'm just looking at the structure. I like the way you do this with the indentation, right? That's what we call that in grammar, to indent, right? Indentation. So I like that you do that. It looks more academic, and IELTS is an academic test, right? So rather than, some people will just do it like this. Maybe your teacher would like you to do it like this, but for me, that's maybe for a paper. It's not for academics. I do like the space, though, Eric, between the paragraphs. I just
Okay.
think visually it's better. But again, that's up to you. But this is great. It looks right, very clean. It looks like a good IELTS structured essay. Okay. So scientists predict that all people will choose to talk the same language in the future. Do you think this is a positive or negative development? Basically, do you think this is good or bad, right? How is it good or bad? And then you can make that a little bit tighter. Again, I think nowadays everything is digital. I don't think they have you physically write on the IELTS. I think you're on a computer, so this is it, right? So identical language around the globe. That's a good title, Eric. That's pretty cool. So some scientists predict that all people will speak the same language in the future. Good. And good. You used some, right? Because it's true. Not all of them, and you're writing in a vagary, right? You're not writing specific. You don't want to be totally specific. You want to leave some room, right? Some wiggle room. So a number of people deem that speaking the same language is commodious. That's a good word. It's a good word. I don't know. What do you think commodious means, Eric?
It it just means convenient and very handy. It's just a shift word for this.
Yeah, I'm not sure that it's good. It shows your IELTS, it shows your English vocabulary, which is important for the exam. Maybe I would tone it down a little bit. What do you think would be a good synonym of another word for commodious?
Mm, so I think a synonym is convenient, but it is being used too much. So
Right.
I
Yeah.
would,
Don't use
yeah,
convenient. Yeah. Don't use convenient on the IELTS exam. I would think so a number of people, first off, I don't know if I used is to end the sentence, right? But and then maybe I would change deem. So I'd say a number of people believe, right? I think would be, sometimes
yes.
if if you're too eruditish, meaning you're using too many big words, it can be funny, right? So maybe, it's depending. So a number of people believe that speaking the same language would be, you could always just drop the would be, like, beneficial, right?
Yes.
Yeah, I don't know. Commodious, it just sounds, it's like very fancy, right? I guess it's just kind of just too fancy. But okay, so sometimes scientists, I'm sorry, man. Some scientists predict that all people will speak the same language in the future. Okay, again, right? The dangling preposition.
Yes.
How do you think you could include that in the sentence to make it sound better, read better?
Mm. I think we can put or replace in the future between um that and O, which is some
Yeah,
scientists predict that in the
that,
future all
yes.
people will speak the same language.
Exactly, exactly. Really good. And that would, you could almost start, it wouldn't be sound so bad, right? In the future, some
Yes.
scientists, but some scientists predict that in the future all people will speak the same language. I just think that reads better, right? That's good. Okay, so a number of people believe that speaking the same language would be beneficial. Right. This action can eliminate language as a barrier, as a ooh again, right, Eric? With the dang
Yes.
preposition. Where I think you know where you could put that. Where can you put that to make it sound better?
Uh, it's between and barrier.
Yes, exactly, right.
Communication
It's a
barrier.
communication barrier. Yeah, perfect. Right. Excellent. Okay, get rid of that. And again, I'm not sure I would use some. It's all right to start a sentence with some once in a while. But I don't know. I would try not to do that twice within an academic essay. So let's just read that. So some people consider that this will make future generations forget their own country's cultures. Yes. What's in how else could what other word or words could we use besides some people consider?
I think other is a good choice.
Yes, yes, right, yeah. So why we've already said that some people you're doing yin yang, you're doing the the opposites. That's good, and then uh, other people consider that this may instead I don't
Yes.
know, may make future generations forget their own. Is that redundant? What do you think? Is a country like meaning isn't a culture like when isn't that part of a country? Or do you think
Yeah,
these
it
are two
is. But
different words?
yeah, I think it means they may forget uh their countries like historic events in the past and
No,
their
no, I
culture.
understand what you mean, but I'm saying are these two are they synonymous? Meaning like isn't doesn't a country have its own culture? Or could it have many cultures within a like I don't think you need even countries.
Yes, I think so.
Well, I mean, I don't know. I was asking you. I mean, I understand what you mean, but meaning like they're redundant. It's almost like one and the same, right? So other people consider that this may make future generations forget their own cultures or culture, right?
Yeah.
Singular, their own culture. I don't know. That's interesting. Just highlight that if you go back and review it. That's an I mean, it's a needed
Yes.
sentence. I like it, but I just don't like a country's culture. Just it just seems redundant. Like it's just that's the culture, I don't know. Anyway, and again, Eric, you shouldn't all try to avoid starting a sentence with and. Right, it's more of a
Yeah.
conjunction that you fit into two sentences combined, right? So, and it is disadvantageous for history and culture education. I would just include that as a sentence, right? So I
Yes.
would say other people consider that this may make future generations forget their own culture. Maybe a comma, maybe not. I don't know. And it is disadvantageous for history and culture education. Okay, again with the preposition. Um, and it is right, it is historically or culturally and historically. I do the ABC before, so it is culturally and historically disadvantageous. Oh, and it is culturally and historically, and it is culturally, but then we're missing education. Other people, all right, let's unhighlight that. Now it sounds better. Oh. So other people consider that this may make future generations forget their own culture. I don't know. You don't need an and it is culturally and historically disadvantageous. Uh, I would not use culture twice. So I would say other, right? You try not to use the same word twice, right? Well, especially in the same sentence, especially in the same sentence. So other people consider that this may make future generations forget their own culture, and that it is culturally that it is educationally, right? Because that was the word you initially wanted to use. Educationally and historically disadvantageous. I think that's a little bit better. Again, this is for your benefit,
Yeah.
right? And I'll send it to you on Dink Talk. Take a look at both. But I think that sounds just a tad bit better. So there are lots of people who support the idea. Okay. Yeah, right. Firstly, one global language eliminates communicational hazards. Do you think that's kind of strong? Do you think what kind of hazards are you talking about, Eric, for communication?
Yes, I am not sure about this word. So I think the hazards, I don't know if it's too strong or something, but I think, I mean, for sometimes using the same global language can eliminate the misleading parts when we
Yeah.
communicate.
Yeah, I agree with you fully. I think hazard though for I don't think, maybe, but as in like airplanes, like airports are all international English, right? You must, if you're a pilot, you must learn English, right, to understand. Um, Now that's a hazard, right? Like if a plane goes down and crashes, that's dangerous. That's a hazard. But I'm not. Yeah, I
Yeah.
would try to again tone it down, right? English slang, right? Just bring it down a little bit because that hazard is dangerous, right? Like if you're going, like I see you going into the ocean where there's sharks, right? And I'm like, Eric, that's a hazard, man. Don't go in there. That's like, so I don't know if it's to use that with communication that's a little bit maybe more stronger. So how would you change, like what would you place instead of hazard? What would be another word?
I think issues were problems.
Issues. Okay. Yeah. Fair enough, right? That's a generalized, yeah. So firstly, one global language eliminates communicational issues. Yeah. All right. That's good. Yeah. Issues. The common language spoken all over the world allows people to understand and to be understood easily or more easily, right?
Yes.
But a common language, I don't know, A or D, debatable. A common language, a common global, right? You try to
Yes.
shorten this one down, right? A common global language, a common global spoken language, right?
Yeah,
Um,
and we can believe
yeah,
them.
and then you just get rid of this. You don't need this. Allows people to understand and to be understood more easily. I think that's better, right? That sounds a little better. Again, try not to start sentences with since too. Um,
Yeah.
it's just the way I think our culture or the world culture, every writing now, we're getting so quick, right? With wasting, ding talk, that we don't practice full sentences, right? So again, I'm trained like old English, like full sentences for especially for academic training. So again, this is for more academic, I would think for your IELTS, Eric, right? In more full, right, sentences, right? So since negotiation is the best way to deal with conflicts without limitations of language differences, whoa, Eric, that's a long sentence, brother. Um, we need to chop that down, right? We need to make it shorter or in 2 bits. I would start it off. I would just cut and paste. I would start off with this. So let's do. So there is, right? Maybe. So there are, or there is, there is a great deal of conflicts that could be solved through negotiations, comma, instead of resulting in violence and wars, right? Period.
Yes.
Okay. Negotiation, start off with negotiation. That's better. Negotiations are the best way to deal with conflicts. You don't need a comma, I don't think, without Diff without language, different, different, differentiations. There you go, Eric.
Yes.
It's a good word, right? Differentiations and limitations. There you go, my friend. Yeah. Did you write this rather quickly? Did you write it today?
Yes, I wrote it from, I think it's from, I arrived home at maybe 10 o'clock and I started it from 10:40 and finished before lunch.
Great. Do you time yourself or do your parents time you to do the
Yeah, I think
IELTS?
my parents timed me,
Great.
and when the time is up, I finished and they
Great.
told
All
me
right.
to eat
No,
the
great.
hot pot.
No, that's great. I keep forgetting the time constraint, but yeah, we just keep practicing,
It's,
man.
I
Keep
think it's
practicing.
40 minutes.
Okay, that was great though. No, it's good. It's well structured, right? Again, it's just nuances, right, of the
Yeah.
words, right? So, and again, I love that you do this with firstly, right? And then you do secondly, that's very academic, English for academic purposes. So I really like that you do that. So then secondly, the common language can fasten the speed of cultural exchange. That's good. That's a little English slang. And if you use English slang appropriately, you get more points right on the IELTS exam. I don't know, I'd maybe phrase it again with the preposition at the end. So secondly, again, I would go with the A by saying the benefits if there was one. So secondly, a common language can can fasten, can quicken, maybe
Mm,
quicken cultural
exchange.
exchange. Yeah, I don't know if I would use speed of. I think that's maybe over the top, right? So
Mhm.
secondly, a common language can quicken cultural exchange. Yes. Humans are able to learn valuable staffs from other societies. Staffs.
Yeah, or knowledge.
What is I've never heard that. Staffs? Is that the right word or did you want to use stuffs? Stuff.
Yeah, stuffs.
Stuff.
I
Okay.
just, yeah,
Valuable
spelled
stuff.
it wrong.
Yeah, okay. Yeah. So but
It's a,
stuff is a little bit too informal.
yeah,
Right. So for academics, you don't want to use stuff, right? Or things. You don't want to use things really. So humans are able to learn valuable information. That's an
yeah,
academic, right? So humans are able to learn valuable information from other societies and you don't need to say we, will humans and will benefit, you don't need to use a lot. Benefit from freely learning, from freely learning from each other. Again, the dangling. I know it's difficult, Eric, and it's annoying, but it's
yeah,
let's see. So humans are able to learn valuable information from other societies, and will benefit from freely learning from each other. Um, yeah. What do you think? I don't know. Mutual from free mutual learning, right? So that means
yes,
yeah, you're learning from one another, right? Okay.
yeah.
Additionally, many people disagree with, or additionally, or conversely,
Yeah, conversely, it's
yeah,
not
or
addition.
alternatively. There's another one, right? The opposite. So
Yes,
alternatively, many people disagree. I don't even know if you need that dangling preposition because we know what we're talking about, right? And look, it
yes,
even structures a little bit better, right? It lays out a little bit better. So alternatively, many people disagree. If human beings speak the same language, it would be hard for future generations to remember the country's past. Past. I think it's singular. The country's past.
yep,
Yes.
without yes.
Yes. This probably affects is correct. This probably affects the development of cultural diversity. Again, the dangling, I know, dangling preposition. How do you think we can change that sentence?
Uh, yeah, this probably aff affects the
Yes,
Uh,
cultural
the
yes, 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 yes.
effects cultural diversity's development.
Yes, perfect. Right, exactly, exactly. All right. Moreover, the common language impedes the language's evolutions. Yeah, you don't need themselves, and you don't. I think it's singular. So, alternatively, many people disagree. If human beings speak the same language, it will be hard for future generations to remember the country's past. Good. This probably affects cultural diversity development. Yeah. Moreover, the common language impedes language's evolution. You don't need
Yeah,
the common language. The common language would impede, right? Future perfect, right? Would impede the language's evolution. Moreover, moreover, a common language would impede the language's evolution. Okay, you can maybe describe that a little bit more in another sentence, but that's right. I get what you mean.
yes,
Citizens in different countries have their unique grammar usage. Okay, that's a shortened sentence, and maybe even you could go so far as saying incomplete. So I would then
yeah,
use this one as well. So citizens of different countries have their unique grammar usages, right? Because it's plural, citizens. So citizens of different countries have their unique grammar usages. Their peer how yeah, I would say maybe period. You could also go with semicolon, but just a period. So I would say, and then therefore is a great way to summarize something in academic English, right? To say therefore, right? So
yeah,
therefore, same language, a same language could cause confusion. You don't need a lot of, right? Could cause confusion.
yes,
Um, I like this. I would just go with a three paragraph structure. So just drop that in. And that's always good to end, right? To conclude, that's good. One global language can destroy, right? You don't want to be very definitive with what you're saying. Can
yes,
destroy
probably,
obstacles, communication obstacles, right? There you go, to shorten the sentence, right? Get rid of another preposition. Can destroy communication obstacles and thus prompt development. Okay, that's all right. They're good. And then, however, there are possibilities that it could trigger, or could, right? You're trying to be as vague as possible. That it could trigger chaos and prevent a country's his, historical education.
yeah,
I guess yes. Um, henceforth, maybe I think you got those. These are very academic words, right? Therefore, henceforth,
yes,
you know. Henceforth, we should strive to find a balance. Good. That was all right. Again, it's just those dangling prepositions that makes it sound better when you eliminate
yes,
them. I'm going to make this black again. So let's just read it. I just always like to read it, and this is a good habit for yourself to read it very quickly after you've written it, especially on the test. Just read it, see how fluent it is, and what you think about it, right? So the identical language around the globe. First off, scientists predict that all people will choose to talk the same global language in the future. Do you think this is a positive or negative development? So identical language around the globe. Some scientists predict that in the future, all people will speak the same language. A number of people believe that speaking the same language would be beneficial. This action can eliminate language as a communication barrier. Other people consider that this may make future generations forget their own culture and that it is educationally and historically disadvantageous. There are lots of people who support the idea. Firstly, one global language eliminates communicational issues. A common global spoken language allows people to understand and to be understood more easily. Yes, there is, you don't need, we're just doing the one. There is a great deal of conflicts, yes, that could be solved through negotiations, sorry, instead of resulting in violence and wars. Yes, negotiations are the best way to deal with conflicts without language differentiations or limitations. Yes. Okay. Secondly, a common language can quicken cultural exchange. Good. Humans are able to learn valuable information from other societies. and will benefit from free mutual learning. Yes. Alternatively, or conversely, right? You're doing the
Yeah.
opposite. Many people disagree. If human beings speak the same language, it would be hard for future generations to remember the country's past. Good. This probably affects cultural diversity. However, right? Oh, sorry, Eric. You could say, however,
Yeah.
right? Because that's the opposite. However, this probably affects cultural diversity development. Yes, that's okay, good. Moreover, a common language would impede the language's evolution. Citizens in different countries have their unique grammar usages. Yes, therefore, same language could cause confusion. Good. To conclude, one global language can destroy communication obstacles and thus prompt development. However, right, good, right? However, again, opposite. However, there are possibilities that could trigger chaos and prevent a country's historical education. Henceforth, we should strive to find a balance. Good. However, this is the one, what's the word I'm looking for? My one caveat, which is old Latin, Eric, meaning my one warning. I enjoyed it because you did both sides. I think for this one, they want you to pick a side, right?
Yeah, in
So
my
they want you
opinion.
to say, what do you think? Is this good or bad? So they may actually deduct points, right? Because you didn't really answer it. It's well written, good job, but you argued both sides, right? So I think
Yes.
sometimes on the IELTS, they want you to pick a side and then defend it, right? But that was good. All right, Eric, let's so yeah, so we've got about 20 more minutes. That was great. I'm going to send that to you on Ding Talk again, but you wanted to do this one today, right? Managing free time.
Yes.
All right, cool. So I like these very much. I'm a big fan of these Lingua House because they get you, it's all facets of your, of language that reading, writing, and everything else. So why can I not? Oh, I'll drop this down. I'm an idiot. All right, so let's make this bigger. All right, so in pairs, they look at the picture and answer the following questions. All right, Eric, so take your time. Take a look at these. We've got to log out anyway. So it's kind of very
Yeah.
similar to IELTS. I'm going to change it to make it more convenient for you, right? About school, right? It's not going to
Yes.
be about work. It's going to be about school. So whenever you're ready, take 2 or 3 minutes and then just let me know on Ding Talk that you're ready and
Okay.
we'll log back in. Okay?
Okay.
Okay. All right, good.